Hello everyone, happy Friday, and welcome to the third day of Captario's 10-year celebration series. My name is Karl Rahn, and today we're meeting up with two of our analysts, Shaineze, Afir, and Anastasia, Danopoulou, to talk about model storytelling. How is it possible to describe our reality in quantitative terms? What are the possible benefits of being precise in your storytelling efforts? How will it help our customers in the end? These are some of the questions we'll be talking about today. But before we go into the studio, I want to remind you to browse our website for our hidden celebratory logo and be part of the raffle to win a 4-hour workshop with us. Also, make sure to watch to the end. There might be something juicy for you. Now let's go talk to Shaineze and Anastasia. Hello.
Hi.
Anastasia, Shaineze, thanks for taking the time to sit down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are excited to learn a little bit more about storytelling. You know, here at Captario, early on, right when I came here, one of the first presentations I heard from a Captarian was Miguel, and he said, every model starts with a story. And I think that evolved into this saying that we have now. It's, if you can tell the story, we can model it. So I really wanted to speak with you, and we want to learn what goes into the storytelling end of modeling and your interactions with the clients.
Mm-hmm.
So either one of you could, what first comes to mind?
Yes, so the first thing is like storytelling has like two parts for us here in Captario. The first part is like the model storytelling, where is the customer actually telling their story about the project or whatever they want to describe, and then we can turn it into a model. And after this model, we take some data out, and this data has another story to tell. And this is the second part of the storytelling. And we can call it like data stories.
Interesting. So how does that typically go with the client? You just ask them, you say, hey, what's up?
Well, they usually have already a story, like what they want to see, and they have this project, or they have something in mind, and they're describing it. We are also making questions, and they're also describing what they want out, like what decisions want to take a look into, what data, what kind of visuals they want.
Interesting. And then all the time you're providing them feedback, like, we can do it this way, we can do it that way, or that's interesting.
Of course.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
we are describing, we need them to find the decision points inside this story, the main parts where they have to choose something between something, or like going to the next step or not. So we make sure that we know these steps, and then...
So helping them understand clearly what the key moments are, or parameters they want to take a look at.
What decisions they have to make.
Oh, interesting.
I think there's another part also about like telling a story, which is we are so used to asking the questions sometimes, and we don't think about like everything that is around, like the process that led you to having this question come into your mind. So it's also important to understand what kind of problems they faced before arriving to that question, because you will also understand the assumptions that they made when telling you the story. And usually like a story can be biased, and it's really hard like to arrive, because if you have a biased story, you will end up with a biased outcome. So it's not just about like listening to the story, it's also about understanding the background of the story, how it came from, where it came from, like how it came to happen. And once you have that set, then you can either like retell the stories that they came to you with, or you can also suggest them another version of the story that they should actually model instead of the initial stories that they came with.
Yeah, interesting. And I've seen you do this, helping the client understand the why behind what their goals are when they're interacting with us. Oh, that's great. That's really good. And helping them understand that, and if they have to make clear changes, that might help them.
Yeah, it's hard like to change your mindset into seeing a different story than the initial one that you have, but the values that you will get out in the end is so much greater if you're not like coming with a biased story at the beginning. So
yeah, it's wonderful. We've talked so much this week about the power of Captario sum and all the wonderful things that we can do with computing power now, but I think this is a big part of what we're doing as well, and what we're bringing to the client and helping them with a more consultative approach to what their goals are, and helping them along the way. So that's really good. We also talk about the precision in storytelling efforts, and that's something that I don't fully understand. So I understand everything you said. It makes a lot of sense. You want to understand the why, where you're going, what the key moments are, but the precision around it. Could you speak a little bit about that?
So that is the second part. Like if we come back to what Anastasia was explaining at the beginning, it's the second part of the storytelling, right? So in the end, you need to tell a story. So people came to you with a certain story. You might have given them another vision about the stories that they actually try to solve, or the problems that they were trying to solve that is different than the stories they told you about. And once you have your model set based on this like reiterative version of the story, then you end up with some other data out that you try to make speak out. It's not easy, but it's also very important to like make the numbers speak to some extent. Like numbers can be like very factual, but if you don't know how to mention anything or how to interpret these numbers, they will not like give you the right outcome or the right impact that you want in terms of your company making the right decision. So I would say the precision on that aspect is also very important to conclude the right things based on the data that you got out.
Interesting. That's really, really interesting. So being more directed in their approach helps on all levels. So how does the modeling story influence the decision-making process? So I guess at the end of this, they want to have, possibly enhance their decision-making, or maybe not do something or do something. So, we talked a lot about how we build the story into the model. So what's the end result, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Yes, that's the powerful of our software. It's like you can have different options. You can set your parameters in the beginning how you want. You see the result directly with just press a button, do all the simulations, and then you have the output. And then you just play around with those. You go and reset the parameters, and you see this is high, this is low, let's try it on different. And then you see again the result like in a short time. And you can see how this will affect the whole procedure and your output that you actually want to
So
take.
in real time, changes
real time,
instantly, and you can play. That's something else that has been said quite a few times this week, is you can play with it and really see in full, right in front of you, the changes.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I wanted to thank you both for spending some time with us today and shedding a little bit more light on storytelling and how it affects your day-to-day and how we build the models. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.
legs.